Welcome to another Roselle Citizen Forum. I'm Mark Milton, here with Rockman Muhammad.
Listen,
Rockman, right?
Why is it I can't introduce myself? Rockman Muhammad. Boy, this is the third show. And went through this before.
Okay, Mr. Muhammad. Here with Mr. Muhammad. We're actually in, as you can see, if you look behind us, we're actually at Rock's humble abode here.
Hey, this is good when you own property and you got nice scenery. We don't have to depend on anybody.
That's right.
You just go in your backyard.
And we thought we'd do it, summertime coming, and we want to, bring the outdoors. So we're out here, and
we losing weight. Got the Coke Zero.
That's right. That's right. We got our bike run, bike ride called Ride Roselle. I'm sure some of you probably got the email, but we're looking to do that every Saturday, depending on the weather. Yeah. Just to get together, promote some wellness, health and wellness. Hopefully, get some of the residents together who don't know each other, network, do whatever it is. No strings attached. So anybody come, whether you're by yourself or with your family, come on down, and we'll be sending out the information every week, reminding everybody to come on down. So. It's going to be at Warren Acre right now, starting at 9 in the morning till about 11 o'clock. So I think it's going to be good. So we hope, we'll probably get, because I'm not a professional bicyclist.
I'm trying to be.
Well,
y'all see me riding around town.
Well, you look like a professional bicyclist.
Hey,
I mean,
you know what I'm saying?
He got the equipment.
Hey, listen, perception matters in this place.
Well, listen, man. I mean, so... and hopefully we'll bring people together who are bicyclists and who aren't. So we'll learn something.
You know what I'm actually looking forward to do is actually try to bring the community together. To be honest with you. I think
that's what we.
I think if we can get all sides to actually just have fun together, and we can get everybody talking. I think this town to me is just too small to be divided.
You know what we're missing though? I mean, you know how you ride? We ride through Westfield, Roselle Park, and they got the big banners across the street because they're doing like a summer concert or anything. We don't do that. We don't.
Well, they used to, they had big bands when they did a UEZ concert.
Yeah, well, that's, I think those funds are dried up. So, that's not.
They go.
But of course, it doesn't take much. I mean, listen, we're doing the
but they do also, but they do community runs. They do.
Who?
No, I'm talking about other towns and stuff.
Right. Well, that's what I'm saying. Other towns.
We're so divided. We don't. Right. We don't do anything. I mean, other than the fact that we did have those concerts from the UEZ and people, and the sad thing about it is that really they became political because you have folks complaining that the money was being used to have a political, I would say a political concert to support, I guess, one candidate or another. And the truth of the matter is that we need to do things like bicycle rides, community runs. O'Halloran said he started a 5K run. I think, we need to restart that 5K run.
Yeah.
I mean, Roselle,
it could be a 2K.
It could be anything. I think, people should get together. We should do a community picnic.
Yeah, but listen.
I mean, we got Warren Acre Park. Why we don't do a community picnic?
But you don't have to.
For Roselle Citizen, by the way.
Picnic?
A community picnic.
Now, you know what I wanted? I wanted one of these, like a driveway barbecue. Like, have everybody get out. Everybody makes one dish or two dishes, and then on your driveway or in your community, you have like, instead of being in the back, you have it in the driveway, and then you can go and sample everybody's dish.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, from because we have so many different backgrounds here. From the Colombians to the Africans to the Haitians to the Italians to the Portuguese. I mean, just imagine all those people making the dishes and stuff like that. I think and it doesn't cost much. I think a lot of everybody waits for an organization to put something together. Listen, when we do start a bike ride, it might just be us and two others. Right. But I guarantee you, I mean, and I guess, we'll, once things get and people hear about it, look, no money, we're not asking anybody to put any money. You can come in shorts, suits, whatever you got, and just come. You have a 10-year-old bike like I do, or you have a some $1,000 professional titanium,
I don't have
titanium bike that weighs 5 pounds.
I have a bike that is costs about $300 and some change dollars. And it's a decent bike. Get a decent bike. Don't get nothing. Listen, them Toys R Us bikes don't work.
Listen, if that's what you can afford, just buy one every month. That's all. So
yeah, you will be.
That's
too.
right. So I want to bring that.
Listen, I'm glad this election is over. I think that with it being over, we probably can't. Listen, there's no, to me, it's one side now in this town. You can say Sylvia's on the council, but it's one side right now. And so, to me, all the bickering and stuff now should be stopping. I think it's time to heal the town and bring the town together. I think that the bike ride, if you say the backyard, the driveway barbecue, or the 2K run, or whatever we start, I think it's time that, or community barbecue. I think that the time has come for this little town and the residents to actually get together and actually start talking to one another. I'm telling you, I've been riding around. Let me tell you something. I've been riding around this town on my bike, man, and this town is diverse.
It is diverse.
And I'm telling you, bro, I done seen so many different, and we got some beautiful houses in Roselle too, by the way.
I'm telling you, you don't
really understand until
you either walk or ride.
It's some history.
That's right.
In Roselle, and the deal is that the communities aren't talking to one another. I was riding, and we got so many Hispanics in this town, and I was riding around, and I was looking and how they congregate and how they deal with one another on their porches, but there's really no interaction between the ethnic groups, really, unless it's about politics, unless it's about the board of education, unless we're fighting one another, there's no interaction.
Well, the question,
I think we have to do something.
Sometimes I ask, it's like even myself, listen, if you could ask yourself, how many people do you know on your block?
Yeah,
I mean, listen,
I don't
I'm a
know
corporate. I don't know either.
Yeah.
And even I might know of the people, my next door neighbors or so, but I don't know them.
Yeah.
And I think if we can start doing that, I mean, my
daughter actually knows more people on this block than me.
She's 3. And then that's the question you got to ask yourself is why.
Right.
And then I think if we start small, I think if we start just by blocks, then by wards, then I think that's the way it should be. Yeah.
People stay to themselves. It might be for good reason. Listen, look at my backyard. I love my backyard. I like to come home, sit in my backyard, and relax during times, whatever. But I think we don't invite our neighbors to our barbecue. We invite our families to our barbecue. And the deal is that when you look around, you be seeing these different barbecues. You never really go into your neighbor's barbecue, not going to your neighbor's house and spending some time getting to know your neighbor. I think, though, the bike ride, I think if we start the 2K race again, those type of things will actually get people actually talking more.
Yeah. Listen, I challenge residents of Roselle to come forth with this stuff. I challenge them to submit to us. You can just submit at info@therosellecities.com your suggestions. What do you think that would help this community grow? Get to know one another, to heal. I challenge the residents to do that. I mean, I guarantee there's many people like us who are out there who want to get that community feeling again and everything else. So I hope we can get from our viewers. I hope we can get those suggestions, and maybe we'll get those together on the next show. We'll talk about them, and then maybe we can get that going too. I mean, right now, we can't do everything. So hopefully, our residents will take up that challenge. So what you got in front of you here?
Well, this is just the literature, the paraphernalia from the race that we just had. I just wanted to bring that out and have a discussion about the mayoral campaign and the council campaign that we just had. We have a new mayor in town. Mayor Garrett Smith has not been reelected. I would assume for many reasons why, I think that he wasn't reelected. For mayor, Jamil Holly is the new mayor. We want to congratulate. I definitely want to congratulate.
Congratulations,
Jamil Holly,
his team,
and his team. Eve Alberg and Randy Sandiford. for their victory in the race. I think it's time to move on. It's time to heal the city. I think, I got to be honest with you, Jamil, I think you could have been a little bit more gracious in your campaign speech to Mayor Garrett Smith. I don't think that we do ourselves any justice when we don't show those we show more division moving into if we're going to have a new era, then let's have a new era. Saying that, telling feeding meat to the crowd by saying, and because I want to say what you said that I disagree with, feeding meat to the crowd by saying you spent 8 years trying to get rid of Garrett Smith. You can listen to me for 8 minutes. To me, was not a good campaign speech. It's not a good start and beginning. I think I hope that you have congratulated Garrett Smith right now, and you and Garrett Smith have some sort of meeting of the minds where y'all can get together and have a smooth transition. But I was kind of disappointed in that comment because, it just showed to me that there was still division in the city when I seen people saying, yay, and, like almost applauding you for making that statement, and that's not the statements that we should be making. You are the man now. You have to live up to what it is that you said that you were going to be with me.
But he has to understand, too, is that him being the mayor, even him councilman at large or whatever, he has to deal with both sides. He has to deal with the people that don't like him and the people that do like him.
Yes.
And this shouldn't be any different. When he was councilman at large, it should have been the same way. So I just as you said, just to reiterate, is the fact that moving forward now, it should... Look, they have no excuse. There's no excuse.
There's no excuse, no.
Anything that goes on in this town. And I'll say that now, but even before the elections, Rock, they still had the majority.
No, they had the majority. There was no excuse then.
But let's not get them... Look, we're actually, letting them off the hook there and to say... I mean, listen, look at the literature. We'll pick one here
that's
about the stable... Let's look at Jamel's. Okay, well, property tax. Okay, a real plan to stabilize property taxes. Well, the question is, why wait now? Why wait for your run for mayor to say you have a real plan to stabilize property taxes?
Well, first of all, I never seen a plan. So okay. I mean, that's on the literature.
Right.
But I'm sorry, I've never seen a plan for property taxes. I don't see an economic redevelopment plan. I do understand that there's projects that he's won, but I don't actually see a plan. And I'm not, listen, this is literature and this is what people do, but it's the public fault because the public didn't ask for a plan. The public didn't ask where's your redevelopment plans. One thing to say is another thing to actually produce it, but he's the mayor now.
Yeah.
And so, the deal is that he's going to have to produce a plan now. And if you don't produce a plan, I'm going to call you out on it. And if you don't produce a plan for redevelop, a plan, not projects that people come to the borough and ask you to support. I want to actually plan on how many years it's going to take us to move stabilizing taxes. At what point do you? How many years do you think it's going to take you to stabilize taxes, and how you going to get there? And what steps you're going to take to get there. In your redevelopment plan, how many years is it going to take you to put a plan? What type of projects do you plan on having in the city? And how long is it going to take to get it done?
And what he's saying is that he has a real plan to stabilize taxes. So that plan should be...
I haven't seen it, though.
Well, I understand that, but that's what I'm saying is that we should know what that is by next... But we should know what that is by the next workshop.
But it's not. But you're not going to know
and that's what the problem is that in the literature, I think people believing here, because even with not Garrett Smith, property taxes rising out of control. How did Garrett have a hand in rising?
Well, Garrett didn't vote on property taxes.
So I hope that everything's said and done. I'm not going back a step here. But I think it's important that we discuss. We are going back because I think it's important because unfortunately the residents in this town are fooled. To believe that the mayor, I got to be honest with y'all, Jamil Holly being mayor at this point, when he's sworn in as mayor come January, will not have any power. The only power he will have is the power of running meetings and chairing meetings and hoping that he can get the council members on the council to actually vote and agree with him and projects. And I'm not saying that won't happen. I just want to be clear, though, that the truth of the matter is in the future, Jamil Holly won't be voting on property tax increases neither. Right.
That is a vote occurs on property taxes, that the taxes will be voted on by the council, because that's whose responsibility it is. The mayor has no vote unless he's breaking a tie vote. In this town, we have what you call a weak mayor, strong council form of government here. And the council in this town has the power of hire, fire, and they vote on the legislation that increases your property tax. The mayor of this town, unless there's a tie vote, does not have a vote to actually interact in it. So Jamil, if he ran on the campaign next year and taxes went up, and he put on his flyer, "I never increase your property tax," he would actually be right. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Because he didn't increase your property tax. The council people increase your property tax because they're the ones actually voting on it.
Yeah. So I want to see what the plan is.
So my deal. I think his point though that we talk about Mayor Garrett Smith's failures, and why I think that he wasn't reelected.
Well, we talked about that many times.
Well, no, but I think that
right here we talked about it.
And if we're going to criticize Jamel, and we're going to talk about Jamel, then we need to talk about why we think Garrett lost.
No, you're right, and that's what I'm saying. We talked about that,
and I think that I think clearly that the incident that occurred with the leaving the scene of action, I think that had some impact on people. I think the infighting, I think the message was confused about the infighting on the council. I think Garrett has lost support over the years. I think that, I got to be honest, I think that when Garrett Smith lost the majority on the council, I think he really gave up doing his duties as mayor because he felt that he was not that he was not going to be able to get anything voted on, and so he just didn't make appointments. He didn't.
You're still mayor,
right? But he gave up on that,
right? And he should have been everywhere. Right. When Miss Dandro had her flood project, he should have been there. Right. When anything else, whatever happened, if it had to do with the community, even though we knew that Miss Dandro's thing was politically motivated, with senator and all that other day, but you're still mayor, right? And you still show up, right? And you still have to support your residents again, whether they like you or not. So I think he fell off, and I just want to bring. The other night I was having a conversation with my wife, who's not, she don't like any of this. She just want to come home, go to sleep. But she was right when we moved here. I remember that Garrett was everywhere. Yeah. That was 8 years ago, 7 years. So he was everywhere. Yeah. Here at the schools and everything else. And as time went on, you didn't see him anymore. Right. And I think where he lost, being a mayor, you're supposed to be this figure where you represent everyone. And I think, when he lost, he lost the majority on the council. I think he just gave up and went into the wind. And then you didn't know where he was, what he's doing. And I think a lot of it was him dealing in defending his actions or defend him against the majority, and that's where it led him.
I think I was talking to somebody the other day, a mutual friend of me and his, and I was saying, I don't know if Garrett wanted to win. At some point I believe that maybe he really didn't want to run again, and that the folks around, because Garrett to me was not the only problem. It's to me a lot of the folks around Garrett Smith who've been advising him, who, as far as I'm concerned, really, aren't taking a clear understanding of what is going around in the barrel and a realistic approach on how it is that we come together in this barrel and understand that after elections are over with, that politics should be over with, and that it's now time to govern. Yep. And that you just can't pick a fight, that this notion that somehow that you always have to be fighting is just not real. You don't always have to be fighting. It's one thing to debate an idea. I find it, and this is the reason why I have issues with Ms. Dandro, because I find it that when you're talking about ideas and people seem to don't want you to say your idea and they don't want to get their idea, I do find a problem with that, right? But I do agree that you should not just, every time somebody puts something on the table, you just saying no to it all the time, or you against it all the time because somebody else, right? Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Exactly. Yeah. So, but there is a problem to me though with this notion that somehow if your idea is different than somebody else's idea in this barrel, and you debating this idea, or you get to the mic and you speak about your idea, then somehow that's wrong. And somehow, the only people who should have ideas are the people who's elected to their council, and that's just not real. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't consider nobody on that council smarter than me.
Right.
Nobody, by the way. I want to be clear about that. You know what I'm saying? I don't consider anybody. Right. I don't consider. I don't care how many degrees you got. I don't care. You know, the lawyer, whoever. You know, I don't consider anybody on that council or work for the borough administration smarter than me. I don't consider any of them smarter than me, and I don't consider them smarter than any resident in this town because we pay taxes in this town. We know what we want in this town. And we know what we should have in this town. And so when residents come up there and give ideas, there should not be this posture that somehow that idea, because it came from them, is a bad idea and it's just argumentative. And we're just going to tone it out because it came from them.
And I think that's where I think it's been done so much that the stigma, I think some of the public doesn't want to get up there and say what they need to say because either they know they're not going to get listened to, or it's just, it's why do it? It's almost like the voting. People say, I mean, we ran and some people said, well, remember the woman? We ran and people says, why am I going to vote? It's not going to make a difference.
Right.
There's nothing's going to change.
Right.
So I mean, which is ridiculous, but
and I don't think that's going to change. By the way, I think that you probably listen. As a matter of fact, I think you will have more secretive things going on at the council because you won't, because they're gonna pretty much lock Sylvia out. So they're not gonna be. They're not gonna have to inform her of a lot of stuff that goes on. You're not gonna see a lot of debates at the council, and that's wrong, by the way. And people just gonna have things shoved down because you have this super majority going on now in elected government in this town, and things are just going to be voted on and passed without any question. I can guarantee you the council meeting is going to be so quick at the borough on Roselle that it's going to be unbelievable because folks just going to get up there and vote. We going to vote until it's time for the public to speak, and then I'm going to get my 3 minutes. But I mean, this is, to me, is what's going to go on. I don't think that benefits a borough. I don't think that benefits a town when
this is and
voices are silenced.
And I hope that the people that supported Jamel and his team don't think that if that's the end. Well, we got him in there. He's been elected. Now we're just going to let Jamel and them take over and do what they're going to do.
Well, they always do that.
Right.
That's going to happen.
And that's going to be a problem. So, if they don't get up and try to find out and ask questions like they should, they should be asking questions. I don't care if you like him, you voted for him, not. It's still your job to find out what is going on in this borough and to ask those questions. I mean, don't get afraid if you're going to piss Jamel or somebody off.
But they take politics in town personal.
Yeah, well, whether they're afraid to because he might not answer their phone calls anymore or something like that. Listen.
Well, y'all know I don't care about
that. I know. So, and neither do I.
I'm gonna be pissing folks off.
Listen,
it's nature.
And the emails that I do send to everybody will probably now doubled. Because I'm gonna be on it. I'm going to be on it.
I think Jamil is more than capable of being mayor in this town. I think he has a personality that, that he probably can work with a lot of folks and get things together. But there are going to be issues that I know I'm gonna disagree with him about, and I hope that he understands and respect the fact that that's just what it is. Disagreements don't mean that I don't like him. It don't mean that I don't support him.
Yeah,
it just means that I disagree with that issue. And, I hope that it's not taken personal. I don't care if it's taken personal, but I really would hope that it don't take, because I think, listen, I'm going to say it again. I think Jamil has been someone who, even when me and him have gotten to our little arguments about things that's happened in this borough, anytime I've ever called him for service, he's always provided that service to me as a resident. And I think it's important that he continue down that track. Yeah. That as long as Jamil Hawley, no matter what anybody says to him, when a resident calls and asks you for service, as long as you continue down that path, you can be mayor of this town forever or whatever higher, because at the end, residents only care about services. I mean, most residents' towns not trying to be an elected official. Most of them just, like you said, they want to come home, they want to go to work. You know what I'm saying? They want to come home, they want to enjoy their little property that they have. They're not trying to be an elected official. They're not trying to take over nobody's spot. But they do have issues that they're going to come about that they may say, listen, Mayor, I don't agree with you on that. And you got to be respectful enough to accept that disagreement. But if that person calls you and says, hey, man, we having this issue on my block, I need to get this thing done, can you help me get this permit, I need to do, then listen, I think that he should be responsive like he has always been. I think that should not change, because I think that is probably one of his best qualities that I've seen for him. Well, and I think that's what to me makes a good man.
Yeah, and don't listen, don't forget about your own council person, in your ward. I mean, I know, but listen, I mean, everybody wants to jump straight and call the mayor or whatever. I mean, those are what your council person is supposed to be doing.
Well,
you're supposed.
I don't know how my council person feel about me. I'm trying to engage her in conversation. I'm trying to, see, once again, I just think politics are taken personally, and if she think, as far as I'm concerned, she believes that if I disagree with her, that's something wrong with that I don't like her personally or whatever. I'm trying to engage her, though.
It's a shame.
But listen, hopefully one day I will engage her, but. I'm telling you right now, my call is going to be to Jamil Holly. That's the guy who I've always called. That's the guy who I'm going to continue to call when I have issues. He's the mayor now, and he's always provided service, and that's what I'm depending on. If Ms. Shaw, who's my councilwoman, decides that she want to have a relationship with her resident in her ward, I would be more than willing to have that type of relationship. But if folks. Oh, I mean, I tried. I talked to her at the. Me and her did strike up a conversation. I intentionally struck up a conversation with her at the at Jamil Holly's victory party. So and she seemed a little bit more amenable then to us having the conversation. So, but I hope we continue down that track, because I mean, she is the councilwoman in my ward, and I don't want us to have these personal feelings that somehow if I come to the mic and say, Ms. Shaw, you're wrong on that she take it like, oh, I'm not going to deal with Rock anymore because he disagreed with me. No, if you have a point, get your point across. If I have a point, I'm going to get my point across, and we're going to move forward from there. I hope that's what it is anyway.
I mean, she might just be knocking at your door next week after she sees this. she might feel differently,
She's more than welcome to, come by and talk and have a. Listen, Ms. Danzero has come by here and had conversations with me and her.
With the trees.
With the tree situation when she was running for office. I told her I think it was a smart move.
We had a great conversation the other night.
Yeah, listen. I actually like Ms. Danzero.
I do too.
You know what I'm saying? I'm a challenger next year, but I like her.
We only make her better.
Yeah,
that's it.
Right.
Listen, I mean, we had a good time. Listen, Ms. Danzero, is she used to your that temperament that I want answers and stuff like that? I don't think so. I think now is that things have gone along so long where no one's getting any answers. Now we're going to be pounding on that door. I want to know.
Well, one thing we want to know, Ms. Danzero. Listen, I do think the website. Let me say that to her.
Oh yeah.
She said, Ms. Danzero, the website is beautiful. I just want you to be clear.
Hey, it's even I even promoted on the Roselle Citizen.
Yeah, the first day. That's how I know about it.
I know. Listen,
I went to the Roselle Citizen and I clicked the link.
It's a good thing. They got a lot of information on there, paperwork, download forms. So you
can view the council meeting.
That's right.
I told her my daughter can navigate that website. Yeah. That's how easy that website is. So I love the website.
Let's hope y'all just keep paying that bill, so I don't turn it on next week. Well, that's what they said about other bills. So, so that it stays on. You won't find news, you won't find news that you need, that you
won't see this show.
You will not on the Borough website.
And this is the most important show. I mean, the council meetings are okay. But I will guarantee they'll be boring from this beginning January. Well, they might be boring. Listen, I think probably Garrett gonna be like, hey, whatever. You know what I'm saying? I think they'll be boring from this point on. So definitely, residents, if you want a show that's exciting and we're gonna discuss the issues and talk about people,
I think they should just watch. I think the council just should hold it here. You know, come to the backyard, have us sitting here in the council. Listen, we have a good time.
Yeah,
we have a good shorts. You know,
they don't want to have. That's another thing. 'Cause people always ask me why we don't. Why the show is not professional. Why we don't put our questions. Listen, folks, this is a resident show.
That's all.
We not trying. Listen, I ain't making a dime off the show. Mark Milton ain't. As much as y'all think he making some money, he ain't made a dime off no show. As a matter of fact, he's spending his own money to keep the site going. This show is informal. It's about residents. Any resident could come here. We've already asked residents after this election to come on here and actually talk about community issues. We want to get away from just talking about politics. We actually asked residents to come and just start talking about things that's going on in the community. No, I'm not wearing no suit and tie and having prepared questions. Whatever I got on, I'm doing the interview with. Ain't nothing special. I ain't getting paid. I ain't looking for no movie producer or no TV producers to see me and say, hey, I like that guy. I don't care about how I sound. I don't care about me saying, all these little petty criticisms that we get on the forum. NJ.com, it's the NJ.com. I got to shout out my haters on the forum. All these little petty criticism that I get on forum, it's just a waste of time. I don't care. So why are you even saying it? It's just like you're typing your finger, you're getting arthritis for no reason. Save it.
Right. If we weren't doing this, what would they be doing?
Oh, that's the point, because they still watching it.
Listen, they need to thank you.
Yeah, I know.
Because you've added something more to their life.
They ain't never going to do that. They ain't got no say. They boring. They sit behind the computer. They making things up as they go along. They don't even know the truth. They just, if you listen to most of the stuff they post, they don't know what they're talking about. And they just post it and people reading it. And listen, if you want the truth, come here. I don't have a reason to lie. There's nobody in this place that I need to lie to. So anything here is the truth. You can look at it. These are their websites. This is what Holly's flyers say. Don't ask me. Look at this flyer. This is what Garrett's paper said. Don't ask me. Look at Garrett's paper.
Okay.
Yeah, this is what Garrett. It's nothing that it's nothing to hide. Mark don't have a reason to lie. I don't have a reason to lie. We're trying to be upright front. Give our opinion. By the way, that's all it is. It's not etched in stone. We could be wrong.
You have your. I know you got a camcorder.
Yeah.
You
do your own.
Do your own. Yeah. Do your own. Don't hide behind the username. Get out there, talk about it. Listen, that's all. If you want to, listen.
They scared, man. I'm telling you, bro, they don't even want to say their name on the phone. What makes you think they're getting on the video? Because they can't, they can't face you. You know what I'm saying? That shows you that's cowardly, as far as I'm concerned. Because they can't face you because you got so much to say. Come see us.
All right. Well, we giving them enough. That's enough time for this.
I have to shout out my haters on NJ.com because I get so sick of logging on and listening and all of the craziness that they say in the statements that they say. They so much celebrating Garrett Smith laws. I really hope they get from Jamil Holly what they expect, because if they don't, they're going to be some very sad people, bro. Yes. And the deal is, too often we make politicians, we put them on a plateau above us. And then when we find out that they have failings, we understand that they're human, and then we turn around and say, oh, Walmart participating, oh, everybody. Listen, Jamil Holly, as great as a guy, I think Jamil Holly is a human being just like me, and we make mistakes. And if you really want to make change in your life, it starts with you. And if you really want to make change in your borough, it starts with you, the resident. Yep. That's all I got to say.
That was nice. I like that.
That's the truth.
So, before we wrap up, I just want to tell everybody about the summer camp. If you go to the RosellCitizen.com, Roselle News, it'll tell you about the summer camp. Look into that for your kids. I know they're I think they're still hiring for people. That I know Sylvia was on the committee for that, and Jamel's on the committee for that. So I would give them a call, send them an email, find out more about that, because I know it's getting close with it. It's cheap. Yeah, it's not as expensive as most other camps, but check it out. Contact your local council person, or go on the site, RosellCitizen.com, and find out from there. So, and then one other thing I just want to say congratulate Rock your anniversary.
Yeah, man.
I don't see how she does it,
5
but
years,
she's doing it, and y'all doing it. So congratulations on
You
that.
don't see how she does. How your wife doing? They always talk.
Listen, that's 14 years. But,
5 years.
5 years, man. But
man.
you know, congratulate. Hope
you know how we do it. You know how we doing? She's away at the military. It's 2 weeks, so you get those spaces between. You know, you miss one another. So
I hope she enjoys that very expensive diamond ring that you had just purchased for her.
No, diamond ring. I ain't got no diamond ring. The one she got one diamond ring. The one I bought for when I got on my knees.
So again, and also still look for our bike ride. It's going to be every Saturday, 9 a.m. in the morning. We'll definitely get in contact with us so we can make sure that we notify you whether it's going to happen, if it's raining or whatever. Just send an email to info@therosellcitizen.com, and I think that's about it.
Maybe we should change the show name to the Backyard Show.
We'll think about that. All right, see you later.
All right, bye.